My name is Omar. On October 14th, 2023, I walked into a crowded church in Michigan with one purpose: to destroy their idol. I had trained for this. I had prayed for this. I raised my leg to shatter the wooden cross that stood on their altar. But my foot never touched the wood. Instead, a force, stronger than a freight train, but invisible to the naked eye, slammed into my chest. I didn't just fall. I was thrown back by the very God I was trying to fight.
I wasn't born a terrorist. I was born a defender of my faith. From the time I was 7 years old, my father taught me that Christianity was not just a different religion, it was a disease. He told me that they worshipped 3 gods, that they corrupted the prophets, and that their cross was an insult to the Almighty. By the time I was 20, I knew the Bible better than most Christians, but I only read it to find errors. I wanted to humiliate them.
Things changed when a new church opened right across the street from our community center. They were different. They didn't just sing songs, they fed the poor. They helped immigrants. And the worst part? Muslims were going there. I watched from my window as my own brothers and sisters walked into that building and came out smiling. It made my blood boil. I felt like they were stealing souls right from under my nose. I couldn't stand by and watch. I gathered 3 of my closest friends, Ali, Hamza, and Rashid. We called ourselves the Guardians. We weren't violent men by nature, but we believed this was a spiritual war. We decided that arguments weren't enough anymore. We needed a spectacle. We needed to show the world that their God had no power. If we could physically destroy their sacred symbol in front of everyone, their faith would crumble.
The plan was simple but bold. We would enter during their Sunday morning service, right when they were most vulnerable, during their worship time. Ali would live stream it on social media. Hamza would block the security, and I would have the honor of climbing the stage and kicking the cross down. We wanted it to go viral. We wanted millions to see the cross lying broken on the floor.
The night before the attack, I couldn't sleep. I told myself it was excitement, but deep down there was a strange heaviness in my chest. A voice whispered in my mind, "Don't go."
But I silenced it. I prayed harder, asking for strength to crush the infidels. I convinced myself that this fear was just the devil trying to stop a holy act. I was wrong. It wasn't the devil. It was a warning. Sunday morning, 10:45 a.m. We walked in. The security guard at the door smiled at us and said, "Welcome, brothers." His kindness felt like a slap in the face. How could he be so nice when we were there to destroy him? We took seats in the middle row, near the aisle. The music was loud. People were raising their hands, crying, singing about the blood of the Lamb. I felt sick. To me, it was blasphemy. As the music continued, something strange happened. The air in the room became thick, heavy. It wasn't humidity, it was presence. My friend Ali nudged me and whispered, "Do you feel that?" I ignored him, but my heart was pounding against my ribs like a hammer. I was supposed to feel angry, but instead I felt terrified. It felt like someone huge was standing right behind me, breathing down my neck.
The music stopped, and the pastor walked up. He didn't preach a prepared sermon. He looked straight at the crowd, and for a second, I swear he looked right at me. He said, "There is someone here today who is fighting a battle they cannot win. You think you are fighting God, but you are actually fighting love." My stomach dropped. How did he know? But my pride was too strong. I signaled to the boys. It was time. I stood up.
The sound of the bench scraping against the floor echoed in the silence. Ali pulled out his phone and started streaming. Hamza moved to the aisle to block anyone from stopping me. The adrenaline took over. I shouted, "Your idols cannot save you!" The whole church turned to look, but nobody moved to stop me. They just watched, frozen. I ran. It felt like running through water, like the air itself was resisting me. But I pushed through. I reached the steps of the altar. The large wooden cross was right there, about 6 feet tall, resting on a heavy stand. In my mind, I already saw it splintering on the ground. I already heard the cheers of my online followers.
I leaped onto the platform. I pulled my leg back with every ounce of strength I had. I aimed for the center beam, intending to snap it in half. I screamed, "Allah is greater," and unleashed the kick. But then, the laws of physics stopped working.
My foot didn't hit wood. It hit a wall of energy. It felt like I had kicked a high-voltage power line. A shockwave blasted through my leg, up my spine, and exploded in my brain. I was thrown backward, 10 feet through the air. I hit the carpeted floor hard, gasping for air. But the physical pain was nothing compared to what I saw next. I tried to stand up, but my legs were paralyzed. I couldn't move. I looked up at the cross, but the cross was gone. In its place stood a man. He was made of light, brighter than the sun, yet I could look at him without hurting my eyes. The fear I felt was primal. I knew without anyone telling me who he was. This wasn't a prophet. This wasn't a teacher. This was the king. He didn't speak with a mouth, but his voice echoed inside my chest, vibrating through my very bones. He asked me one question. He didn't ask, "Why do you hate me?" He asked, "Omar, why are you running from the only one who loves you?" That word, love, shattered me. I expected lightning. I expected judgment. I deserved death, but he offered me love.
My friends saw me fly back. They saw the light. Terrified, they dropped their phones and ran out the side doors. I was alone. I curled up on the floor and started weeping. Uncontrollable, deep sobbing. All the hate, all the anger I had carried for 20 years, it was draining out of me, replaced by a peace I cannot explain. I waited for the police. I waited for the Christians to beat me. I had just tried to desecrate their holy place, but instead I felt hands on my shoulders, gentle hands. I opened my eyes to see the pastor and the elders kneeling around me. They weren't angry. They were crying with me. The pastor whispered, "It's okay, son. He's got you now. You're home." I walked out of that church a different man, but the cost was high. When my community found out, when the video of me crying at the altar went viral, I was disowned. My father told me I was dead to him. My friends blocked me. I lost my culture, my family, and my reputation. By worldly standards, I lost everything. But I would lose it all again in a heartbeat for what I found on that floor. I found a God who doesn't need me to defend him, a God who defended me from myself. I was baptized 3 weeks later in the same church I tried to destroy. The legs that tried to kick the cross now bend the knee to the one who died on it. To anyone listening, especially my Muslim brothers and sisters, I know you think you are doing the right thing. I know you think you have the truth. But ask yourself, do you have peace, or do you just have rules? I attacked the cross,
and the cross caught me. If he can save a wretch like me, he is waiting for you too. My name is Omar, and I belong to Jesus Christ. Thanks for watching Transformed Lives. Share this video if you believe in the power of redemption.